Hey guys, welcome to another episode. We're going to be jumping back on our 1974 Volkswagen bus. Again, my name is Marshall. We just got done with that 1982 Fiat 124 series on the channel. Still available. If someone's interested in that, just shoot me a message and we can talk about it. But we will be jumping back on our bus. Like I said, I've had this thing for almost a year. I've been having to push it in and out and keep it a secret. But now we can finally jump in on it. And there's a couple things I just couldn't resist to do on this that were really small, not a big deal, not really video worthy. We're going to cover those things today, do a little bit more of an in-depth walk around than last video to get a closer look at underneath, things like that, kind of show you the great starting point we're getting on here. But the best part is I don't have to push that out. I can actually just drive it to the end of the driveway to make room for this. But there's a lot of stuff in this. We've got boxes of parts up in the rafters up there I've got to bring down and put them down on an easier to access shelf. There's all sorts of parts that we got with this thing. But we did not get an engine. And that's kind of the struggle. We do have the transmission. I got that taken out of here. But what are we going to do with the power plant? You know, I'm still kind of torn between, do we go with the original air-cooled, keep it kind of more original style, or do we do a Subaru swap, which is super common, a lot of aftermarket support for that. So I'm kind of torn in between the two, and you know, maybe we'll mess with a couple engines, we'll go look at some on both sides and see what we can come up with and which one we're going to go with. But anyway, enough talking. Let's get some of these cars moved around, and I'm going to push this out, and we've got some new tires for this thing, so we might go to the tire shop and get those swapped out and put them on here and, you know, all the fun stuff. So let's get started. So this is going to be from the passenger side first. I figure we'll just start here and kind of work our way around. But we do have some of these pieces that are missing. So the door handle we do have, and a couple other things. We do have all the glass. So we have all the glass pieces that are missing. This is the only one that's installed besides the windshield. And we do have all of it. It's in my shed in the back. So we're going to need all new rubber for that. That's going to be one of the last things I want to mess with, just because when it comes to working in and out of the bus, I want as much freedom to move around as possible. But we'll start here in the front. So it's really, really solid. I kind of showed this briefly in the first episode where we revealed the project, but it is super solid underneath. I took the seats off and power washed those, and these are just super solid under here. Everything seems to be here. Missing the shifter, not a big deal, you can buy one. And those are the holes I was showing you in the first episode. There's those two there, very common spot. We'll just cut that out, patch in a little piece. We've got plenty of scrap left over from the 124 project, so we'll be able to put those in there. But otherwise, we do have the gauge cluster. We're missing the little box that goes in the glove box here, but that's all there. We have all sorts of little switches and relays and things as far as up here. But we do have the inside door handles, which is nice. Just no door cards or anything like that. But again, these dog legs, really, really good shape. And the door closes really well. And the other good thing is the slider works fantastic. Nice and smooth. And again, this floor is really put together. There's only one soft spot right here. Might be able to see little pinholes here, but that's really the only spot. You can see where the old seat rails used to bolt in the ground there when this was a transporter. And I think on the back side here, yeah, there's a couple more holes. You can see that light down there. That, and then that there where, I don't know, there's some sort of hose or something that ran through there. We're gonna get that all patched up, little pieces like that. But you can just see how solid all this floor is. It's just, it's on there. Same thing here, it's just all good shape. We get down into here and it's just all clean, put together. Really, really nice. And this is really what drew me to it, is just, it's all in here. So, looks really good in here. A lot of blank slate opportunity to get creative and make it what we want, and just do a little patches here and there. Even some weld may even fill that in. So it's little stuff like that. We do have a set of tires. I actually picked these up from Fiat Freakout, from Danny. Huge shout out to Danny for these tires. He's like, hey, these are 14s. Are you sure you want 14s? Yes, I do. And this is why I need the 14s, because these are 14-inch wheels. And 2 out of the 4 were completely blown out, but the front 2 need to be replaced. and these I got from a used tire place, so none of them match. So these all match, very low miles, like 200 miles on those things, and they're a little bit heavier rated. So that's good for us on the bus. Door also closes pretty good, except for that. This is a pretty common problem. It's like a spring issue or something like that. Not a big deal there. But again, all these arches are in really good shape, not rusted out. We are missing the lenses. We do have to get a new filler neck and cap for here. On the inside of the fins here, you can see the surface stuff. So they weren't able to spray in there. It's kind of a tough spot, but at least it's on the inside there. Moving around the back, I did fit a new wiring harness on that. We'll cover that more when we go up to the front, but there is a new wiring harness in there. This is all a new wiring that I got from Wolfsburg West. It's one big kit to replace the old one. It was super crunchy and old and gross, and I did not trust it, so I made sure to replace that. An easy plug and play on that. But inside here, it looks really good. I'll grab a light. So here's our light. Our gas tank is removed into the back side of that flooring, and it looks fantastic. You can see a little bit of vacuuming that needs to happen up there, but looks really, really good in here. Still has some of the original stuff that needs to come out, like this. We'll get better sound material and insulation than this. It's pretty rough. The only other spot is our battery tray. You can see there's some holes there that need to be patched, but that's also another common, super common spot for that acid just to eat away at the metal. But all in here is just in really good shape. A couple more holes, I don't know what that's from. I'm gonna patch that. So the metal work in here is super minimal, and it's super solid. I mean, you can see the frame in here looks really, really good. That more new wiring coming through, and our shift linkage straight ahead there, right over there is coming through. One thing is, it does need good suspension work. I've only got one shock. For some reason, there's only one on this side. We got one missing over here. I do have the CV axles, but I will probably get some new ones. Don't want to mess around with that. But yeah, it's really good in here, really solid. Even underneath the spare tire tub here, there's no rust on that as well. So really good on the inside of that compartment. There's some cosmetic stuff on the outside. I'm not too worried about that. Again, driver's side looks really good. You can see a couple in the reflection area, a couple little dings. Not a big deal. Again, we're going to be using this bus, and it's going to be well loved. And there it looks like they're able to get a little bit of the spray in there. But yeah, I'm super, super thrilled for this. We'll open this side. You see we've got the door handle here. Little work on that one. And this one looks like it had been over pulled or something, because there was a big crease in the door. So it's like right here. There's a big crease in the door, like it got hyperextended. And so that's something that we're just gonna have to live with. But again, we're gonna love it and use it anyway. Still love this thing. We do have an aftermarket blinker. This has like a super expensive turn signal switch here that's hard to find, and it's like $350 for a new one. I'm not gonna do that. So we went with just a aftermarket one for now. And this is all that new wiring that I was referring to. We ran just a new wiring harness. You can see it's all loomed together. Notorious for just messy wiring on these cars, because there's not well way to organize it. We are missing the kick panel in the front, but all of that's re-plugged in. All the fuses have been cleaned up. Again, nothing really super exciting to watch here. Just unplugged the white color and plugged the new one in, and went one by one all the way across to put those new wires in. More super solid here. Again, these dog legs are just in really good shape. Underneath the seats, super solid. We've got our master cylinder underneath the seat. I need to decode our plate, but if you're good at decoding, that is what our plate looks like, and you can tell me some information in the comments down below there. But yeah, so the only other things we've done is we've converted, we've put these in. This didn't come with it. I just bought a set online to fill those gaps to make it a little more complete. I think we do have the wiper arms. Again, we've got all the parts up in the tubs up top. We just got to bring them down to go through them a little bit more. We have upgraded our headlights to LED headlights. So we have a video on that coming out next week. Will be that video of where I converted all that with a aftermarket LED, and it is a huge difference. So that brings me to all the electrical so far that is plugged in actually works. So our headlights work, our blinkers work, our taillights work, our running lights work, which is a huge advantage because I was not wanting to chase that down, but it was also a good way to make sure that our wiring harness was plugged in correctly. But everything works, and I'm going to show you guys. So let me get my jumper pack. I'm going to plug it in underneath, and we'll show you all the working lights. So we've got our jump pack. We're just going to ground it off on the frame here. Sure, this looks like a good spot. And then our positive is going to go here to our, what normally would be the starter, normally sits right here. So we're going to hook our positive to all these. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to push this a little to the side so we can turn it on and off from the outside. So we just hit the switch and then we'll turn the ignition. So we're going to hit the power here. So our green is good. Okay, we've got our running, we've got our switch on somewhere. So those are on. Do I have my running lights on? All right, so that's forward. Oh yeah, I got the lights on. Oh yeah, so you can see that LED lights are on. Our running lights all work, which is a huge leg up on this. You can see our stop lights are there, our running lights, and we'll hit the blinker. Oh, I heard a fuse pop. Yep, not a fan of that one. Well, maybe we aren't as set up as we thought we were. Yep, alright. They were working and then we just popped a fuse. So something's not right. But they're still on though, so that circuit's still good. But anyway, we're in really good shape electrical so far. And when I plug in a test light to our interior lights here and here, the light does come on when we turn that switch. And we also have a rear defrost window with the lines in it, those heat lines in them, and that works also. So everything is wired up correctly for the most part, which is really nice. I don't know if I'll go with these, or maybe we'll do a LED light that does the whole inside all the way around, you know, something like that. Not sure, but kill all this power while we're sitting here. There we go. Missing a lot of parts still, but that should be off. Yeah, okay, they're off. So yeah, we're still missing quite a few pieces, but the good thing is we still have all these boxes up here to go through, and there may be some stuff. I mean, we've got the tub cover up there, we've got the gas tank on the shelf over there, we've got starters, all the window pieces. We do have a couple door cards. These are going to be good templates for the doors there, so we just got to go through this stuff. I think there's a little bit up here as well, so we just got to go through it. That's all, not a big deal. But what I want to do now is get this up on jacks. That way we can take the wheels off and go get those tires that we got from Danny at Freakout and get those put on here because they're all the same size. These are 195 60 R14s, so they are a little bit shorter in height because the bus top, when you go to push it out, actually does scrape the bottom of the door up here. So I want to cut down on that, make it a little shorter, not so tall here in the garage. There's a lot of plans for this stuff, but let's get it up off the ground and on jack stands where we can start monkeying around. Those were pretty straightforward to get off. Not too bad. You can see which two are much newer than the other ones. I had to replace those because those other ones were just so bad I couldn't roll it anymore in and out during the Fiat project. So I'm going to keep those two, but I'm going to replace these because I think this one has a slow leak. So we definitely need that. But anyway, we've got all 4 in the van anyway. But we've got the wheels off. We're going to take a look in here. They actually turn really nice. Definitely need new ones because these are pretty crusty. But on the inside here, it looks really good. I mean, nothing crazy shouting out at me, rust, hidden rust, anything like that. Just some grease, you know, typical stuff. Probably pull off this cap. I did remove the calipers because it was getting locked up when I was moving it in and out, and I was just fighting it so much. And so I just removed the calipers, and now it rolls perfect. Same thing on the back here. These roll really well. Of course, we're going to need to replace all the brake components because you don't want to mess around with that. So, but yeah, so all looks good in here. Still got the bump stop. Looks pretty good. Just a little bit of hooey there. A little bit here. It's lived a storage life. You know, stuff kind of bumps into it when it's being stored. So, but yeah, it looks good under here. So the next step is we're going to load all of this up into the daily and go get these all swapped out. Alright, so we're back for getting those tires. We were able to keep those 2 good ones, so that's what these are. And those 4 are freshly mounted and balanced on here. Only 200 miles on these, you couldn't beat them. Got them for a great price. Again, thank you, Danny, for hooking me up with these. But they're all good to go. 195 60 R14s. They're all the same tread, all good, set to go. So now, whenever we do get an engine in there, in the bus, we should be good to go. Alright, so we've got those tires put back on the bus. It's nice that they're all matching, they're balanced, all that good stuff. You know, they are a little small for the wheel well. I want to say that the gap right there is a little too big. I know that these tires originally came with, were a little bit taller as a sidewall was taller to kind of fill up that gap. But you also got to remember there's nothing in here. There's no engine, there's no interior, there's no glass, none of that stuff. So as the suspension gets weighed down, it may take up some of that gap, especially when you're sitting in it as well. And we don't know about those shocks either. So they could be really worn out. They could be too stiff. They cannot be the right ones at all. We don't know anything at all about that because we haven't even jumped into all the suspension. But this is a really good starting point for our project, and it was so nice to get these all on there, new treads, new tires on this, and now we can actually roll it safely in and out and not worry about that tire going flat all the time. Alright guys, and that's going to be the end of this episode. We were able to get those new tires on there, kind of show you guys stuff that I did while we were still working on our 124 Spider project. Now this is the kind of updates we're going to have in between some of the bigger things, just so you guys see that there is progress going on the channel with this build. Like I said, the funding on this isn't as immediate as it was on the Fiat one, just because we haven't sold a car to fund it. So this one's going to be a little slower, but it's stuff like this, little stuff. As long as you're doing something every day, every weekend to advance the project, you get that much closer to finishing it. So we're still looking at engine options. Again, I mentioned at the beginning, you know, the air-cooled engine, is that something we need to stick with? Should we really go with the Subaru swap? Because it seems pretty common out there, and there's a lot of aftermarket support. I don't really know yet. I have access to both, with being in the big city. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. What do you think we should go with? Should we keep it original or go a little bit more reliable with the Subaru? Give us a little bit more power, reliability, even maybe air conditioning, which would be really nice being in Texas. But just let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. We also still have merch available. We still have those drink sleeves, and we do have some shirts left over from Fiat Freakout. If you guys want some of those, make sure you guys send me an email at garagetimetv@gmail.com. We'll get you guys set up with one of those products there and ship it out to you, and be within a couple days we'll get it to your house. But that's going to be it for this, guys. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you following along and updates with the channel and with this awesome new project. I'm really excited to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps grow the channel so we can keep working on stuff like this. Thank you so much, and until next time, we'll see you.